Isn't that? Okay. Hello all. This is Harish here from Strategic ERP. Let me start by saying we are doing an unit allocation screen. So when you're doing unit allocation, the prerequisite for the unit allocation is first we will complete the leads which is coming from the telecaller page. From the telecaller page, we shortlist the leads based on different sources, source and the sub-source aspect of information. Based on the source information, whatever we shortlist the specific. Let me take an example to showcase you that. So let's say as this is the lead which has come in. Okay, this is the lead comes from a telecaller page. From a telecaller page, we have captured all the information of the sources, which unit they wanted, and you have the estimate of the budget, campaign. So basic all the information, your current rate of the aspect, follow-up, and the inquiry follow-up information. Now the current status is sent to inquiry because from the lead, this is being pushed to the inquiry. So when we go to the inquiry screen, that is in the sales person's information screen, you see the lead is already in follow-up stage. So when you see the follow-up stage, if you want to see further information of the customer, not a customer, this is a prospect. So this prospect is still not converted as a customer. So you have an information to edit the whole profile information of the lead and verify that all the details are perfectly captured into the system. Here you do have an option to set it as site visited, not interested, callback, negotiation, and back to telecalling aspect. So here I have to click on site visited, or I can, there is a last stage, let's say as I say, as site visited. So I click on site visited and I mention the time. Uh, so click on the time. So let's set it as say 3 o'clock. Okay. And done. So mention your remarks. Someone is visiting the site. Visiting the site at 15 p.m. hours and submit this. After submitting, you have the communication here done, which you can see here. Then you click back. Again, you click on this information. You change the status to so the status is changed to site visited. Now you have a change the status to booked because now the customer has recalled us back and he said that no, I'm not, I've already visited the site and he's happy with the service and the model which he's expecting with us. So now he is ready to close the deal with us. Customer is interested with the process, with the process of showcasing the unit, and he is happy to close the deal. So let's select the status as booked and capture the information 10 and this is 1500 hours, and let's submit this. Once we submit it, so just let's go back again after completion of that one. Now once you have finished the status as booked, it comes to your customer details for capturing your customer because you already have done the KYC information. So here you have the option to look at the inquiry. Let's open that inquiry. So now the status is booked. Now the customer information is captured. If any email has to be captured, let's say as at no email come, and then put your details. Any communication address you can mention as road, just giving the local address information. If you have any other information, you can capture the same. And once you have captured the information, and if you have PAN number and other information, you can capture. That is not, it shows as mandatory, but is not a very mandatory information. You can capture the person as a Mr. Harish is the spouse. You can mention the spouse, husband. Information is date of birth, is contact details. And what you can do is you can save this transaction. So when you're saving this, there are other fields which is coming into picture. Mandatory is basically this is Mrs. and this is address which is missing, so which we can capture. Then you have other information of the PAN, so we can capture the PAN. So occupation, she is a salaried employee. Other number you can mention as 3238. So this is data is valid. The birth date is pretty much important. So we can capture that information, or we can capture this, let's say, just finishing that one. So let's say that this is somewhere in this put in, okay, done, save, record is saved. Once the record is saved, then you have the status to put it as approved. Once you approve this, your customer details is, that means your CRM department has re-verified the customer information, has updated the details. Now coming to the information of the specific unit allocation. This is a very important screen. We call this as a customer Bible, or we can call it as a customer information of complete details. Here, what we captured is basically, let's search by the name, the same person who we have closed as a lead from a customer. So let's take that specific unit. Okay, so let's click on that information. So there is a mobile number. Okay, so this concern here. So you do have an inquiry information. Inquiry information. Okay. So, hmm. Let us take another example. So when you do that, you do have unit information, you have inquiry information. Inquiry information is the inquiry where the lead has come into the ERP application. So this is the inquiry information. From the inquiry information, then you have unit information. Unit information is specifically mentioning the which project is connected to whom. So here we capture all the information of the project. We capture all the information of the property. So this is basically becoming as a customer information. This is becoming as a customer information. We captured all the customer information. Then here you have the customer information. Then you have the installment details. If any installment to be paid, that installment is basically selecting the payment plan. Then based on the payment plan, once you have done the payment plan, then you are capturing the member ledger. These are ledger payments. What are the payments done, which is received to the promoters or the developers. And you have installment letters. Basically, installment letters is a concept where once you raise a demand letter, you get whatever the demand letters which is raised to the customer. Those letters will be showcased here, and you have annexures where when you are buying a property, at the time of buying the property, when you're closing the status as booked, you do have an option of unit cost estimation. In that unit cost estimation, there's a possibility that you have some additional charges or additional annexures, such as clubhouse charges or deposit charges or car parking charges. That is the information which is tagged to the specific unit. Then you do have the car parking allocation, which is an allocation done to the specific unit. You do also have a sales follow-up. So there is a follow-up aspect of entry where the CRM team follows the information by saying, wow, is the unit which has been paid initially obviously a token amount. Against the token amount is the first stage of the payment, the slab or the booking amount of the amount is received by the sales to the sales team or not. That is aspect. Receipt with the TDS is an aspect where if the unit is more than 50 lakhs, the customer has to a customer has to get an clearance from the bank to make that TDS payment entry. So that 1% about the payment which is be done in the TDS. Because earlier days, promoters and developers were taking on behalf of customers to give that tax as a TDS aspect. Now, nowadays, the customer who is taking the forefront of updating the TDS.